This is a presentation on the changes to Scoutbook effective in June of 2024. In this presentation, we will go over how to record advancements in the new system, how to add, edit, and advance DENs, and a little bit about the DEN Leader experience going away. Scoutbook is undergoing some name changes. The traditional tool is Scoutbook, and it's still called Scoutbook. Internet Advancement is now called Scoutbook Plus. Cub Scout units will be using Scoutbook Plus going forward to enter advancements. The data is shared between the two user interfaces. As you know, parents and scouts can indicate advancements are completed. In Scoutbook, they can't mark them as approved. What we recommend is that for new parents and parents that want to monitor their scouts' progress, that they use the Scoutbook or what's called the Scouting mobile app. This is a link to that mobile app. It's a lot easier to use than Scoutbook or Scoutbook Plus, so we would recommend that they use that for what they need to do, which is to view their scouts' progress, make comments on it, that sort of thing. So this is the place that they use. This is the tool they use for that. So when you're ready to record advancement, go to the Scouts page, and you're probably familiar with what that looks like in Scoutbook. And then go into the Scouts menu, and toward the bottom you see where it shows their advancement, and it says the Scout's name and then advancement. When you click on that, you'll be directed to a new screen. When you click on the advancement menu item, you will be sent to this page for the Scout. This will show their advancement progress so far. If you click on the View More button to the right, you can drill down and look at the requirements for the badge they're working on. And again, it shows the 6 required adventures for that rank, and it shows the elective adventures for that rank. Now, it will default in June to the 2024 current electives. If you want to go to a previous version, in other words, you're trying to update ranks that they earned this year, this spring, rather than what they're starting on for the next school year. You can change up at the top here, you can change the version of the rank from the current version, which will be June of 2024 on, or you can go back to a previous version and it'll show those requirements, and then you can mark those adventures completed and stuff. That should be available until somewhere around September 1st, which I think at that point they're thinking about not allowing you to update previous year's stuff. So kind of keep that in mind. Now over on the left, you can mark the entire rank as approved. This would probably be or awarded. This is probably more for catch up on the previous year. And so you would change it to the previous year and then mark that appropriately and then put in a date of when that happened. Working going forward, you would want to work on a current adventure that they have starting, and you'll notice here that on the adventures it says whether or not the Scout has started those adventures or not, and you would just basically click on the adventure and start entering the progress. So when you click on the adventure, you get the next screen. So when you click on the adventure, you're sent to the adventure requirements page. On this page, you could, for each requirement, enter a date. You can mark it, if you're a leader, you can mark it as approved. And you can add comments to that particular requirement. Very similar to what you can do in Scoutbook. If you wanted to, you could also, you didn't want to do it individually, you could use a quick entry screen to enter in all of the, like the date for all of the requirements that that particular scout completed. To do that, you click on quick entry up here. So this is the quick entry screen. You can mark whichever requirements that the scout completed, and if you wish to sign off on those requirements, you can click on approved as well. And towards the bottom of the screen, it's not shown here, but towards the bottom of the screen is a place where you put in the date and you save it. It's that easy. It's pretty quick and easy. Now, if you want to work with the entire pack and maybe give a bunch of different different types, different awards, right? Do a bunch of achievements for a number of different scouts. You can actually work from the roster side. So when we were looking at this very first slide where you entered, you actually have this on the left, these menu items on the left, and you can go into the roster of the entire pack, and if you wanted to at that point, you could also filter to maybe just show one den. There's another place where you can filter for just one particular den. If you're a den leader, you're only going to be able to update for a den, for your den. But if you're like doing it for the whole pack, you can still say, well, I just want to work with one den at this point. There is a button up here for unit quick entry, and we'll look at that. This is where you can credit a bunch of different advancements for a bunch of different scouts. If you want to go back to Scoutbook, when it opened up this page, which is actually in Scoutbook Plus, you'll see up here on the header it says Scoutbook Plus. When you open up the advancement stuff, it brings you over to Scoutbook Plus where you're doing it. If you wanted to go back to the original Scoutbook, it should have opened this in a new tab, so you have a previous tab. But if for some reason you don't, you can click on where it says Scoutbook down here, and it brings you back to your Scoutbook input stuff. There's a number of things that you can do in Scoutbook Plus. If you're not used to it, you can go ahead and play around with it a bit. You can assign scouts to dens using Scoutbook Plus with the den menu, and you can do other things like that. What I will show you, and you can change, let's say you're not only associated with one pack, you're associated with another pack, and you wanted to bop in between as you're doing this advancement stuff between the different packs, you can do that, or a pack and a troop, or anything like that. Most of the reports that you're familiar with in Scoutbook are available in Scoutbook Plus. However, and a lot of them are in this reports menu here to the left. However, you can still always go back to Scoutbook and use the reports from Scoutbook, like the PO and things like that you're already used to. You can go back to Scoutbook and continue to use those things. The only thing you can't do with the upgrade is you can't record an advancement for the scouts in Scoutbook anymore on the Cub Scout side, because it's just going to bop you over here. When you click on it, it's going to bop you over here to the Scoutbook Plus stuff. If you click on the Unit Quick Entry, which is on that roster menu, it'll allow you to enter adventures for a bunch of different scouts. You can also enter health records, swimming classifications, school information for a bunch of different scouts as well under the quick entry. But I'll show you what it looks like for the adventures because we're talking about recording advancement. When you select on unit quick entry, it'll bring down a page where there will be some pull down menus. You can select the rank that you want to work with. You can select the adventure that you want to work with, and then the version date. You'll be able to work with older versions at least until September, but you'll be wanting to select the current version probably moving forward. You can click on apply, and then you'll get the results that are down here on the bottom. It'll list the scouts that are eligible for that rank. That's going to be dependent on what den they are in. So if they're in a tiger den, they're eligible. If they're not in a tiger den, they're not eligible. You can select then the scouts that you want to work with here. It will display on the right the adventure requirements for the adventure that you selected. And you can select all of them to credit all of them, or you can select whichever ones that the scouts completed. You put in a completion date. Leaders, like den leaders and pack leaders, will be given this mark as approved box where you can actually mark it as approved, and then you click apply, and that's a pretty quick and easy way of crediting a number of scouts for a number of different requirements inside of an adventure, or all the requirements for that adventure, which would credit the scout for that adventure. Let's look at some of the things that you can do for a den. You can, if you click on the roster menu on this den icon, it will open up the screens so that it's divided by den. So it groups all of the scouts in any particular den together. If you want to edit the den, you can change the name, you could advance the den, you can add scouts to the den, remove scouts from the den. To do that, you would click on the edit button that's on top of the den list. If you want to add a den, we'll talk about that in a little bit, you would click on the add den button. You'll only be able to add arrow of light dens using this technique going forward, and we'll go into that. You can't add arrow of light dens in Scoutbook itself. Now these dens that you have here that's being displayed are if they are being displayed, are the dens that you created in Scoutbook previously, and you'll still be able to create dens for the time being in Scoutbook, but except for the arrow of light den. So we would like you to start getting used to editing dens in Scoutbook Plus. So what happens if you click this edit button? That'll be the next thing I'll show you. So when you click the edit den button, you'll get the edit den screen. And from here you can do things like you can change the den number for Webelos and arrow of light. There may be a den name. You can edit that. You can select the level of the den. So let's say this den is currently a lion den, and you want it to be a tiger den, because we're moving up to a new school year. Everybody that's in that den, we want to now make tigers. All you have to do is click on this drop-down menu and select tiger, and then save it at the bottom, and that's advanced that den. It's that quickly. It's that quick. And if you want to bring them back to lion, all you do is click on the menu and select lion, and then you click save, and it brings them back to line. So you could advance them or bring them back as quickly as that. It's really very convenient. You can add scouts. It shows all the different scouts and adults that are available. You can add scouts and adults to the den, and you can remove scouts and adults from the den by clicking on them. So you click on one side to add, you click on the other side to remove, and then remember to save whatever work you do. And it's as simple as that to edit a den. Now, to create a den that does not exist currently, you would click the Add Den button. So let's show you what happens when you click the Add Den button. It brings up a Create Den menu, pretty simple. This is the menu you use to create dens initially. So if you don't have a den and you need to create one, you would put in the den name or number here. You would select the den level that it's going to be, and then you would select the scouts and adults that you want to put into that den. And then at the bottom you click on create, and so that creates a new den. So this is the way you create a new den. This is the timeline for the software releases. As you know, the new Cub Scout program is effective June 1st. Scoutbook is hoping to support it in the early June timeframe, and the changes that I showed you should go into effect in the early June timeframe. On September 1st, it will be the last day that you will be able to make changes to the previous requirements from the previous versions. Actually, it'd be the end of August would be the last time you'll be able to make those changes. So if you need to add, let's say you need to catch up and record what happened this last spring, this last winter, do that, during the summer, that you'll be able to do that. There is a tool out there called Den Leader Experience that's going to be frozen June 1st, and it'll be retired on September 1st. If you don't use Den Leader Experience, don't worry about it, but for those of you who do, those are the dates of when it is going away. You just use the current, the new Scoutbook Plus tools that I showed you in this slide, this presentation, and also the calendar to do your Den Leader Experience stuff, the same kind of stuff that you were doing in Den Leader Experience. We're not going to abandon you without any help on this. There will be user guides available at help.scoutbook.scouting.org, which is a knowledge base of help guides, so you can go there and search for help. Also, if you need individual help, go to the forums, and there'll be people there that can help you through this transition. And the forums are at discussions.scouting.org.